Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 U.S. Cruiser New Orleans, a New Orleans game. 9 main guns, 8 secondaries, 75 AA guns, a top speed of 33.1 knots, total health 35,400. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase main battery accuracy, reduce flood and fire chance, faster rudder shift, and concealment. For my commander, situational awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, lower cooldown on damage control, and advanced firing training. We are on the map North, another North game. I know. I've been spamming North. This is just where good games happen right now, and I really enjoy this map. It just feels good. It's a good, balanced map. There's not too many weird things that I dislike about it. The only thing I really dislike is the strategy that most players use on it. Let's all go extreme far west side of the map and ignore everything else. That seems like a great strategy. I have a friendly Atlanta who is engaging the enemy. Whenever you're in the Atlanta, you really want to avoid firing unless you have the ability to land your rounds almost 100%, because you are not really a cruiser. You're like a light cruiser. You sit somewhere in between a destroyer and a cruiser. You're like a Yubari, maybe a Russian destroyer, because let's be honest, Russian destroyers are not destroyers. They're light cruisers. We see an enemy, Myoko, we fire on him. We had HE loaded because it was the beginning of the game. We land a salvo, doesn't set him on fire, does 4,500 points of damage. We reload AP since the target is showing a broadside. And of course, the target angles, closes the distance, and we actually overshoot because of that. Now, we might get one more chance before an island, and I think we will. I think we'll have enough arc. Yep, we're going to go over the island. We do 5k damage, so we did a little bit more. Then our last shot, and 8 of our 9 rounds actually made contact, which is amazing, considering there's an island in the way, there's a lot of traffic. Look at all these cruisers. It's bumper to bumper on their team. We try and fire on this enemy, Myoko, that chose to sit. The island eats 6 of our rounds. 2 of the remaining 3 make contact, do nothing. We're going to try and engage the New Orleans because he's in the open, and it's an easier shot for me. We still have AP loaded because a lot of these targets are broad to us. And he re-angles. We hit with 2 rounds. They ricochet, do no damage. AP is frustrating because you'd like to be aggressive, super aggressive, land those AP rounds, citadel penetrations, but the enemy just wants to re-angle constantly. And sometimes you'll find a target. I'm not going to name names, but sometimes you'll find a target that is disinterested in avoiding damage. And I love those players. I want more of them. But I realize, as a good player, you need to understand you're going to take fire, you notice that an enemy's firing, and you need to re-angle. We try HE on the enemy turrets, we do nothing. We also were using defensive fire against that enemy torpedo bomber that was just north of our position, but we weren't able to do any significant damage. We've only taken out, we didn't even take him out either. Maybe we assisted in damaging one of the torpedo bombers. But yeah, it's like, I wanted to kill this guy. I knew what he was doing. He was looking for a friendly battleship that he could assault. There's a friendly Colorado, one of the worst battleships in the game, and we have to protect him. Now, the enemy tried to move forward. We've got great AA coverage. Not going to really work for him. He pulls back. His dive bombers are taking a ton of damage. We see an enemy Myoko. This is the guy that we started off the game firing on. He re-angles because he realizes he's out in the open. Whenever you're about to leave the safety of an island, you need to make sure that you're not broadside, because most likely an enemy is going to see you and say, juicy broadside, perfect for AP. This enemy Alba is broadside, perfect for AP, but I believe he's going to try and avoid taking damage. And yes, I fire again. I lead the target a little bit too much for distance, and it shows. Just bad shots. He's firing on us, but I'm not too worried. The Alba is 2 tiers lower than us, and we have the ability to maneuver pretty well. Rudder shift is pretty good on the New Orleans, especially when you compare it to the German cruisers. Those guys are sluggish, very sluggish. We see a couple enemy cruisers. They're impatient. They want to push. They're going for B. They felt like once they took out the friendly Atlanta, there was an opening that they could exploit. Well, guess what? You got a couple battleships and myself seeing this, and we're going to go fire at their flank. We're going to do a lot of damage if they stay broad. I have HE loaded, but I'm definitely going to switch to AP if I see a target that is vulnerable. First target, Pensacola. We fire at the enemy Pensacola. We like what we see. Looks like we're going to do a little bit of damage. 1800's alright. We take out an AA gun. He's angling. He's realizing his mistake. He sees aircraft incoming. He sees me firing. Enemy Miyoko also in the area. Now, whenever he re-angles, he's showing his broadside. Second salvo of HE sets him on fire. We are immediately setting up for an AP shot because this is a broadside situation. Use AP, Notser. We fire at the enemy. We have just a little bit of elevation. We're able to land 2 citadels, and then immediately a friendly follows up and finishes him off. That enemy Pensacola did not see that coming. We switch to the New Orleans. He's showing his broadside. The Miyoko is not as easy as a target. We only do 1,500 points of damage to the enemy New Orleans, but he continues to sail broadside. He doesn't realize the threat. I believe he's distracted. Just can't avoid shooting carriers. We've got what looks like a great shot, and it's a fantastic shot. 4 citadel penetrations, 21,000 points of damage, devastating strike metal. Just like that, the enemy who tried to push into B is all pushed back. We annihilate 2 of their ships. The Miyoko probably would have died too if he would have stayed, but he left. That's really what you need to realize. This is not a good situation. I need to escape. So, since we've got the advantage, we've just brought it back 3-3. We have A, C, they have B. We're going to try and look for another target that we can fire on. It does initially look like the enemy is now going to head east. We're 9 minutes in the game. They headed west, center, east. It's very interesting. Both sides really don't want to commit because both sides, whenever they do commit, they're getting blown up. The Atlanta, those enemy cruisers, it's dangerous. We fire AP at the broadside. Miyoko, we don't aim as well as we should. We only land 1 round, and it does minimal damage. Friendly destroyer is at B. Hopefully he'll capture it. We fire again. Again, we don't lay the target as well as we need to. The rounds that do land close to the target only straddle it. And yeah, I see at this point in the game, I realize, yeah, they're going to go for C. We got 3 enemy battleships. Maybe they'll push forward, but I didn't expect that. At this point, we just want to make sure the Farragut can capture B, and we want to potentially take out the low health target. We're taking a lot of fire, obviously. Enemy battleship, 2 cruisers. They can all engage us, and I'm a little overextended, probably. 3 potential targets could fire on my position. You don't want to be in that scenario, but I'm so interested in killing this guy. Again, AP, waterline, and we lead him and he slows way down. Really annoying target. Fast, slow, fast, slow. Guns are almost ready to go. We lead the target because we never assume the target will remain stationary for 2 salvos. We only get the tip. Just the tip. And yeah, now it's like, screw it. We're going to fire basically at the target. So we fire all our AP rounds at the target, and we take him out. Able to get another citadel, but we didn't need a citadel. We were going to kill that guy. He was stationary and broadside. A ship should not be in that position for too long. It is the most vulnerable position a ship can be in. We see an enemy turrets. We have AP loaded. Because of our prior engagement, we're going to switch to HE though, and he's going to take a buttload of torpedoes. Farragut dies, Farragut kills the turrets, and it's a mutual destruction. You know, there's a little bit of joy in knowing that the last moment was you ending the life of your enemy. We see a low health turrets. These guys are bold. They're pushing forward. We're aiming high. We're trying to get the superstructure lit up. First shot sets it on fire. Otherwise, no damage. The enemy turret fires on us. but we understand that's exactly what we want to do. So we pre-angled. Again, aim at the superstructure. We want that HE to spread. Anytime you're engaging a target, spread the fire. That should be a skill that you develop. HE, especially against a target like the Tirpitz, is the ideal route of choice, especially as a cruiser. There's really no other ammo type, unless you're point blank, and if you're point blank, you're taking torpedoes. He hasn't put out one fire, so perhaps his damage control is down. I would say 50% of the population choose to put a single fire out on their battleship, and you can see the damage. If you can land that HE on the superstructure, it'll do maximum damage. The Tirpitz fires, but we have great angling. Now, if you see, there's a very specific location I'm trying to get into aiming at, and that is right at the top of the hull, sort of like when I aim at the waterline. For HE, I want to aim right at the top of the hull, so the HE splashes on the top. That's really maximum potential damage territory. We use defensive fire, we take out the torpedo bomber, or assist in taking out the torpedo bomber, protect the friendly carrier, protect the friendly battleship. That's what a good cruiser does. We see an enemy Colorado, bless his heart. We set him on fire, do a ton of damage. He's already below 20,000 hit points. That's really the most important thing. I think they need to buff the hit points of the Colorado. It's so low compared to everything else. We watch the rounds go in because why not? He's going to burn for a while. We would love a second fire. 2 fires is really overwhelming for a battleship. 500 points every second. That really adds up. 3, 750, 4, 1,000 a second. You're going to be overwhelmed in a heartbeat. I believe he does have 2 fires. Yeah, he's taking like 600 points of damage. He definitely is dying. Now, is it going to be my rounds or the fire? He's taken out from the friendly North Carolina. All right, that's fine. We're almost reloaded. We're going to fire on the Tirpitz. Again, top of the hull. But first, the friendly North Carolina wants to slam into us. I don't think he's paying attention. We got to adjust our heading. It's much easier for the smaller ship to move out of the way of the bigger ship. Our salvo sets him on fire. Remember, he had a fire probably a minute ago, so he's probably not going to have a chance to put it out. Well, friendly puts the fire out by killing him. We did a lot of damage on him. It's great. It's fine. We see an enemy battleship, the last one, attempting to move forward through sea. I also notice, not me myself, but the commentator me, there's an enemy Alba. And then I'm like, what? Why is it an enemy Alba in this position? The Tirpitz slowed down to a crawl to avoid the torpedoes, and we overshoot. Now I was deciding, should I engage the Alba or continue to engage the Tirpitz? I don't want both of them being able to fire at me, so I'm going to try and move north and use the island to get in the way. The enemy Tirpitz is not looking at me. We're doing a ton of damage, by the way, to these Tirpitz. They're really easy to hit with HE and the superstructure. I'm trying to line up that line directly at the top of the hull. I'm trying to obviously increase my damage output. And it looks like it's working. Every HE is doing a ton of damage. He doesn't have a fire though. We're taking fire from that Alba. He's a big jerk. There's an island in the way though. And he can't engage me now. Continue to engage the Tirpitz. We set him on fire. I believe this fire is going to stick for the rest of his health. If we can get at least one more fire, we'll be gravy. We see an enemy Myoko. This guy could really end our day. We are in low health. We would like to not sustain any more damage for our team. There's plenty of teammates that have no damage sustained, and they can easily take on the Alba, the Tirpitz, and the Myoko. If we get Confederate from the fire on the enemy Tirpitz, fantastic. And yeah, this guy, I know what you want to do. You want to fire on me. Yeah, guns are staring right at me. We make sure there's no one in the way. We're angled, and he drops off because he has not fired yet. We are completely visible, though. We're a U.S. cruiser. And, yep, here he comes. Fires on our position. We're angling, we're angling, we're angling. Avoid the damage, avoid the damage. We have AP loaded. Oh, we just barely avoid that damage. The whole ship is covered in water from that shot, but we're still alive. We do 2,500. We defend the cap with AP. Not bad, not bad. He fires again, but we're very elusive. The New Orleans has great rudder shift. Great rudder shift. We get a citadel penetration at this range. What? What? We do, you know, a little bit more damage. We haven't sustained any damage so far. He actually goes behind an island, and we fire. Looks like, yeah, that's pretty good. We're doing great. We've sustained less than 100, maybe 200 points of damage, and we've taken him down from 90% to 50%. Doesn't look like we'll have a chance to finish him before the game ends. You can see we are just 5 points away from finishing it. This game was fantastic. I actually love this game. It's very rare that I play a New Orleans game and feel like I'm in a dominant position and enjoying the ship. 2 kills, 8 citadels, Confederate, devastating strike, and great credit income. 2,325 base XP, 10 aircraft killed. We did around 125,000 points of damage. Great damaging game for a cruiser. That's what I like to see. I hope you enjoyed seeing this game. It's a New Orleans game that I actually enjoyed. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.